First, when deciding a place to stay, to live, and what places you might want to check out in Mexico or really any country, what we did was we did a combination of keyword searches, on including just initially online, just a random Google or use your browser of choice, look up the city and see what comes up. That's part of it. What we ended up finding worked best is a combination of YouTube channels of travelers, just to see what areas might have intrigued us. And then secondly, exploring those cities through Wikipedia and Encyclopedia Britannica, as well as checking on Google Maps to actually see the topography and there's 3D options now on that, where you can see just how vast, spread out, or varied a particular part of the country is. And once we drilled down to I would say about 20 cities and areas of interest in Mexico, then I started joining Facebook groups for those cities and regions. The more local, the better. And one thing I would say, as a avid Facebook, they say they're usually referred to as expat groups, but one thing I've noticed that I don't necessarily fall culturally and socially in with the traditional expat group tends to be based on generation before mine, which is that they are about to retire, they're within X number of years of retire, they have a home, their kids are gone, and they're looking to sell their house and take the earnings from that and come down and have a nice healthy cushion. Well, that wasn't us by a long shot. We're not retired, retirement age, but not retired fully. My husband is semi-retired now, but when we started this journey, we were definitely not. And the other thing is what people come down here for. Sometimes one of the first things they'll say is, one of the first comments they want to know is, where can I go where there's English-speaking people? Where can I go and be part of the community, but where there's, their English is spoken? And even though the funny thing is, even before my husband and I committed to learning Spanish, we knew we didn't really want to be in that kind of group, because that meant most likely a tightly knit community, sure, but one that may or may not necessarily associate with locals, and one that wanted to possibly create its own enclave separate from the local community. And right away, we just knew, as soon as when we hear YouTubers and whatnot talk like that, we knew that kind of approach wasn't for us. And there are, not just all this to say, there are YouTubers nonetheless, even if we didn't share the same goal ultimately, we did still learn a great deal from them. And so kudos to those people who helped us out. We're going to be referencing, by the way, I'll reference some of the YouTube channels that helped my husband and I make some good decisions. Some of it is just purely opinion, but there are a couple of them that are well reputed to do research and have some, like I would say, some legit groundwork and like legal backing, where they coordinate with lawmakers locally or with local reputable businesses and merchants and immigration facilitators and things like that. So I will put information down below on that in most of these videos, so those resources are there for people who want that. What I'm sharing on this channel is our personal experience, so we're not trying to say this is the only way that it can be done, but I am basically sharing my information and my experience as a Gen Xer who decided with my husband that we did not want to go into old age in the United States. And through different videos in the future, I'm going to go into a lot about why that is, why it just never jived with me. And some of it is just innately how I operate, and it just never did jive with me. But there will be some specific reasons that I'll go into, and maybe some of those will resonate with you. So I'll go into that in future videos.